Boatland Outdoors and NA Robotics, North American. Here at Nelson Lake in King County, Illinois. North American Robotics has started working with the local DNR in southeastern Minnesota and now in northeastern Illinois to begin doing some terrain mapping of wetlands areas that are now seeing a huge uptick in the waterfowl as part of the flyway that used to exist decades ago. Those of you that live in the area, what you will notice is that Nelson Lake is now roughly 1/3 its original size. That this lake, if you look at the edges all the way around to the left of the screen and to the right of the screen, you're seeing that it actually dips down somewhere between 8 and 12 feet to where the surface of the water is now. But that's not where it was 50, 60, 70 years ago. 70 years ago, it was right up where the observation deck is that I was flying from today, which means this lake in 70 years has lost more than half of its volume. It's been drained away. It lost to the aquifer, lost for all kinds of reasons. And what I hope the people watching this video notice is that we need to start taking care of this particular lake. You'll see that it suffered a lot of abuse. There's all kinds of ATV vehicles all the way around it, as much as there's all kinds of waterfowl and a lot of birders that are now participating and counting the pelicans in the summer, and now the trumpeter swans. We'll see geese here. We'll see gargantuan numbers, you guys, of sandhill cranes showing up. And when I mean gargantuan, I mean like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 birds are starting to make their way down from just the Beloit area. They're in the fields there now, and they're moving down. We're seeing twosies, threesies. We're seeing dozens that are up in the air, but they're going to start showing up here and wintering. Just wait. They're on their way. And Nelson Lake is a part of that major flyway. This is a place where they're going to love stopping. So what we'll be doing, what North American Robotics is doing, and courtesy of Boatland Outdoors is our channel for YouTube, we're going to be posting regular videos here for you guys to see of what the lake looks like at different seasons. We're coming in, if we're lucky, we're going to be, if possible, we're going to try to fly on a weekly basis and put together a video to let you see what's actually going on. If you were to look down here right now on the south side of the lake, that's what you're seeing. And on the right side of the screen is the Nelson Lake Forest Preserve Park that used to be a farmland that was donated. We see Canada geese flying around. We're flying at 300 feet with one of our drones. You'll notice the birds are not disturbed at all. The white specks that you see in the lower left corner are actually all trumpeter swans. And some geese are landing. If you look really close, you'll see some smaller white specks where we're still hoping the birders can help us tell what those birds are. I'm thinking they're called buffleheads, believe it or not. But if you look even closer, you'll see that we've got sandhill cranes on the water. They're going to have light gray bodies, and they have a lighter gray end on one end. And those are going to be the sandhill cranes. They're in small numbers now, but we're going to see them in much, much larger numbers. What I'm hoping is that you guys start to notice all of the ATV tracks that are on here. This is supposed to be a park. This is, to the best of our knowledge, there's not supposed to be any trail riding on here, and yet the apron, the 100 to 200 yard apron that surrounds Nelson Lake now, has been completely chewed up by ATVs. I'm okay with people going around the lake and making one little trail, but if you look at the bottom part of the screen right now, you'll see they're just going around circle after circle after circle, just chewing up the wetlands for no reason than to chew it up. That's the part I just don't understand, and I'm hoping that by putting this video up and making people aware, one of two things is going to happen. I'll be corrected, and we'll be told that somebody owns this lake, it's private property, and that somebody, a private owner, has the right to be driving their ATVs all over this terrain and chewing it up in whatever way they see fit. Or we're going to make everybody aware that there's all kinds of ATVs chewing up this lake and the wetlands that is now becoming a part of the major flyway for all of these birds, and that's not a good thing. Another interesting thing to notice is immediately on the screen right here, you'll see what looks like a little canal. There's actually a little creek that's running alongside the river, or alongside the lake there. That's kind of cool. Now we're facing to the south, coming in on the wetlands here. The average depth of the water here is somewhere between 2 and 4 foot deep tops. A lot of times the birds are actually standing out there in the water. It is not a deep lake anymore. Used to be 8 to 12 feet. Those days are gone. They might come back, but right here, right now, again, the lake is about 1/3 the size of what it used to be. Too bad. Now you're starting to see more and more of the north end of the lake. See all of the other trails there that go in circles, round and round and round and round, just chewing up the terrain for no good purpose at all. I know as a fisherman, it's impossible to fish on that side, so they didn't come in to fish. They just came in to chew up the wetlands like it was funny. Very sad. You don't know how many nests they destroyed there. You know, how many nesting pelicans might be there when the pelicans arrive in the spring. Here's another, just utterly ripped up all of the wetlands you see on the screen right now. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with no purpose served. There's no hunting they could have done. There's no shooting they could have done. There's certainly no fishing they could have done. It's just disappointing. Now we're at the very northernmost tip of the lake, looking south and starting to rotate around. Again, more wetlands damage with the ATVs, getting in as close as they possibly could. There might be some place there that you see in the center of the screen where somebody tried to put a boat, I suppose, but that doesn't explain all of the other circles and all of the chewing up of the wetlands. I can't imagine. It's going to be hard to count the number of nests that were destroyed. I just hope there wasn't anything in them. Usually when people are that thoughtless, that reckless, they're not paying attention to whether or not there's actual birds there. They just drive right over the top of them. And then they wonder why they have to go to a zoo to see a bird. Now we're coming down along the west-hand side. We're coming down the east side of the lake. And the trail that you see, again, is just an ATV trail. That's out there in the wetlands. That's not the walking trail at all. Neither is the circle that you see right there in the middle. Somebody just drove out, did a bunch of 360s, tearing it all up for no reason whatsoever. Right about now, we're flying. The drone is directly over that metal observation platform that's on the east side of the lake. We're zooming in again a little bit. Coming in, we're on the southeast corner because that's where the swans and the geese and the cranes and the buffleheads, I suppose, seem to like it. Let's cut over now and do another little close-up of just the waterfowl right in the middle of the lake. Hopefully the birders will appreciate this, that you're able to count there somewhere between 35 and 45 swans have landed. You'll see them pairing off in pairs. Those are the trumpeter swans with the big black beaks, and they're off in pairs. Sometimes they're singles, but more often than not, they're in pairs. And the birders, if we zoom in a little bit, you'll notice that there's a lot of little white dots next to some of the bigger white ones. Certainly the bigger white ones are all swans, but we'll see, let's see, these all look like swans so far. But when we swing around, we're going to notice that there's some smaller white bodies, which do not appear to be swans. They're not baby swans either. Baby swans have white necks, and what these have are actually black heads. Now, I mentioned earlier, one of our staff thinks that there's something called a bufflehead, but a bufflehead also has a black stripe going down its body, down its back, and I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing a black head on a little white body that's roughly half the size of a regular swan's body. So what likes to hang out in 4s and 5s and 6s, oftentimes odd numbers, with trumpeter swans that seem to be pairing off? They don't mind each other. what would actually be sitting there hanging out with a swan on a winter day? That's what we're hoping you guys can help us. The little black dots next to the swans in the lower right, those are almost certainly geese. They're not the ones I'm talking about. It's in the middle of the screen, almost the center of the screen now. You'll see that there's a couple pairs of geese, but a couple of pairs of swans, but in the middle, you'll start to see that there are these smaller bodies, and they're small and white. What we want to try to do is identify what those are. We're still flying in at somewhere between 300 and 200 feet. The goal here is to be close enough to get some detail, but far enough away to not cause them any disturbance at all. You'll start noticing a couple smaller bodies in the middle. I don't know, maybe they are sandhill cranes. But sandhill cranes don't have any black on them. If anything, you're going to see a light gray body and a very, very light gray neck. And if they lift their head up, you're going to see red in the photograph. If they dip their head down like they're hiding from the wind, then we shouldn't see anything. We should just see the light colored neck. And now we're heading east back to that observation platform. I'm going to speed up from here. I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video. Hope you got to see what Nelson Lake looks like. Again, look at all the chewed up ATV markings there in the dead center of the screen and to the right. Let's see if we can take steps to be more responsible with our wetlands. What we hope to show in the future, as spring progresses, is that we're going to see where the deer are moving, and we're going to also see where the nests start to show up in the spring, so that we can count the number of birds that are actually here. This has been Mark Vogt with Vogtland Out. This has been Mark Vogt with North American Robotics, narobotics.us. And I have a YouTube channel, Vogtland Outdoors. Feel free to subscribe to that channel, and you'll see all of these videos when they come up. That's it, and thanks to the birders that we saw today already. If you ever see me, the guy in the blue jacket and the big furry hat and sorrels, coming here and filming, feel free to come and look over my shoulder. We love having guests. That's it, everybody. Thanks, bye. Cut.